thought about it in so many different ways, and I just still can't come to the conclusion that some Chelsea fans genuinely wanted to lose to City. Um, Look, a lot of people's angles from that opinion were basically saying that they hate Arsenal because of the club rivalry and the history, and Arsenal being, a larger club overall, especially with the past trophies and everything, compared to City. But the thing is, that means it's at the toll of your own club. So for Arsenal basically to be hurt by Man City getting the 3 points and getting closer to Arsenal, Chelsea effectively has to lose and get closer to 12th place than to the European spots. And some fans are genuinely for that. Now, for me, the number one priority is always my own club. So I'm not a Chelsea fan by any means, but if I were, I would care mostly about them getting to Europe than Arsenal not winning the league. That's the order of it. So you do what's the first priority, which would be win the game. And also, in terms of the rivalry thing, I understand they might hate Arsenal more. I understand they might take Arsenal more serious because of the history. And I know people will mock that, but that's the true thing. Yes, in the last 10 years, City have been more dominant. But as a club collectively, Arsenal is much larger than City. And they'll always be the second team in Manchester. That being said, Man City is already a threat, and if some people don't consider it, them they should very soon because they've been winning lots of trophies, and it's domination. You don't want it to become like Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, where it's just, oh, City win each year. You know what? Chelsea fans are saying, oh, if Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Spurs, don't win it, and we don't win it, then it's a win, meaning Man City or anyone else. But the thing is, all of a sudden, Man City, you don't want that to just stack up because, I mean, at the end of the day, they've been dominating the Prem, and it's making a lot of other teams get embarrassed, as it should, because I think a lot of teams can and should be better than them, especially Arsenal. Look, I think this year we need to win it. I genuinely think we've been better than City for a while, but we're not taking advantage of the situation. Um, I just think not wanting your team to win doesn't make sense in any scenario, in my opinion. There's not a single scenario where I would cheer for Arsenal to not win. Um, you know, obviously a lot of people really don't like Spurs as an Arsenal fan. Of course you don't, but I'm just saying I genuinely don't think of Spurs enough where like it actually, I would, let's say Arsenal finished second and Spurs got relegated. The joy from Spurs getting relegated is not even 1% of how angry I'd be at Arsenal not winning the league. That's put in perspective. So what I'm trying to say is, although it's fun and happy, it would make me happy to see Spurs go down. It nowhere near is the same level of emotion as has Arsenal playing bad. Here's or losing. For those Chelsea fans that are happy with their team, I don't know. It's really hard to like. I don't want to say they're not a real fan, but it's really hard not to because look, they are real fans. At least some of them. I know some of them might just be rage baiting, but I know some of them are real fans that have that opinion. And you know what? Like I'm taking in the points they're saying, and I can see why, but it just personally doesn't align with me. And that's because genuinely, if we lose or we might win but play bad, so whether the performance is bad, the results bad, whatever it be, genuinely it affects the rest of my day, and honestly, probably the rest of my weekend, potentially week, whatever it is. Like the EFL Cup, I'm far not over from. I still think it's shocking how we played it, but the Bournemouth one, obviously, like there's just certain things that you can't just get over with like if you really really care about your club. And honestly, losing to, I know they might not consider Man City a rival, but they're soon becoming one, or they're at least becoming the team that's dominated them for years as they dominated every other club. But just like, I don't know, it's almost like it's just pathetic because like you're genuinely just hoping the team that's been dominating you continues to. And I understand they're saying if we can't win the Premier League, if Chelsea can't win the Premier League, oh, then we don't want our rivals to, which would be Arsenal. Um, but the thing is, I still don't think that logic is enough to want to support against your team because, yes, I understand you don't want Arsenal to win, but then you're also saying, okay, I want Chelsea, who have spent a ton of money and have talent and should be getting into Europe. Oh, I want them to now to not get into Europe and look like a pathetic team, just to see a little bit of joy that Arsenal might potentially not win. It doesn't even put City above us; like it just gets them one step closer, um, and it embarrasses you and like you just look weak. And also, Like, you just look like a plastic fan. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me personally. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm the one thinking about this too much, but genuinely, like, it makes me laugh because the Spurs fans wanted this, um, and they ended up tying City when they wanted to lose. And you know what? They're probably so happy they drew because they're now about to get relegated because of that. So it's interesting, but let me know.